Got an interesting week, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Good variety of events happening.
Um. All right. Let me go get this link.
Maybe actually drop it down here.
Oh, what do you know? The DualShock Sense Podcast is live. Interesting.
And we're live.
Live? Who is that? Ooh, it's Horizon Day.
Dude, I was gonna play Last of Us Part 2, but then I was like, I actually really gotta focus for that. I don't think I could. And I was my second playthrough is on Hard Plus, and like I was playing last night. I was like, man, I don't think I can honestly play this and do and host a podcast at the same time.
I was wondering about that too. I was like, I wonder if he's actually gonna play Last of Us 2, but like that game's a lot. It's from what I've seen, looks a lot more intensive with like its stealth sections.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I might.
It's that hard, bro.
I'm so tempted to try it, so I might give it a shot next week. But I don't know.
Why don't you play as Abby? Isn't she a little more like hardcore?
Yeah. I mean, like melee wise, yeah. But it's still just as intense.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. Some of her levels are like the most intense. She has a whole stealth level that, like, you have like two big boys around the whole
Honestly,
area.
yeah. I mean, not my bad. Walt's absolutely right that yeah, like her levels are like probably even more intense. Like, dude, you remember that one level that's like straight out of Resident Evil, the one in the hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you have to go floor by floor, like trying to clear out so that left can pass by easily.
Well,
Like,
that one was like the hotel, or like the hotel where
oh,
like
you mean after that?
Yeah,
When
yeah, yeah.
Lev is waiting outside. Oh,
yeah, you inside the hospital. Yeah, that one.
yeah, and you're like going underground. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Man.
it was like literally like ground zero for the infection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, where it all started.
yeah, that was
Dude.
pretty nuts.
I love Abby. Like, her missions are some of the best in the game.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Love for Abby.
Alright, I'm putting it all together right now. So I can
How do
look
you
at it.
like? Because whenever I share this on my Twitter, it's like just a link. Like, how do you share it and like it actually pops up that little box where it says like the channel name and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the trick is to like space right after the link. So hit the space bar or space button right after the link, and then it could probably pop up. Sometimes when I just put the link and then just post it, it'll show up. It's weird. It's like
Yeah.
it's not super reliable at all.
Interesting.
Yeah. I
Know what
don't
you
know,
mean.
man.
Where is that tweet that I had?
Gonna be refreshing to see if we got any news today on Twitter. You know, Twitter be wild and
Yeah.
Facts. Especially the past week. It's been pretty crazy the past week.
oh, for sure. Dude, not game related, but bro, there's like 4 to 5 anime endings soon. Like, this season is crazy. Like, I'm excited. That's it. I'm just excited, guys. Like, there's a lot of shit. There's so much going on. Attack on Titan's ending. Ah, god damn.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's fucking bananas.
Bananas. All right.
Bananas.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's say, are we?
Are we live? Been live for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Hey, yo.
Banana.
Okay.
What's this new controller? Is this a new Xbox controller? The electric Volt?
All right, so just going over it again, we're going to talk about The Evo, the Evo.
Woo woo.
Hey man, I woke up like 10 minutes ago. The Switch revision and the PlayStation Store stuff, and the Bloodborne anniversary. Um, oh man, oh yeah, yeah, and then we'll talk about naturally with the PS Store, we'll talk about the PSP and PS3 and stuff like that. Um,
Oh, I got a lot to say about that.
yeah, I'm interested to hear that because I honestly like I don't know. Anyway,
The I don't know is basically I don't care.
I mean, let's be honest.
Hey, I'm glad I can also partake in that. I don't care as much because I mean I wasn't. You guys are more old school with Sony. I don't know. Let's see.
I got you. I'll hold down the fort.
Definitely. Um, okay. I think we are good. So you said you got the Switch information, right?
Yeah, I pulled it up earlier. I have the Bloomberg one.
Okay. Because
Go ahead.
I'm going to go uh pull up the information about EVO.
Gotcha. Which one we touching on first? Which one we breaking this ice?
Um, I gotta keep you guys on your toes. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
What comes first? Um, okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna. Hey, Macho, I'm gonna source my own damn article. I think.
Wait, what happened?
Said I think I'm gonna source my own article.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah,
The credible journalist.
That
man.
flex though.
Hell yeah.
I can do that. I wrote about it.
Hell yeah. We're gonna flex a little bit today. We already hit the gym. We gotta start flexing a little
Yes, sir.
Stop it, Macho. Get some help.
Okay.
Listen, man.
Hey.
Yo, so Jay, I'm sorry I had to pull up that meme on you.
Nah, man.
I saw it in my phone. I was like, yo, this is the one that got this man put in Twitter jail.
Yeah, man. That brought out some bad PTSD, man. All right, man. Let's get started.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Guys, welcome back to the 6th episode of the DualShock and Sense Podcast. I am your host, Soul, the connoisseur of anime waifus, and with me with me as always are my co-hosts, Walt. How you doing, man?
Hello, guys. Walt Lando coming at you with the detection of mistress energy,
Oh, man.
helping Jay in his time of need, in his time in jail.
Hey,
Gotta
man.
wonk. Gotta be careful with that.
We down bad over here, man.
Ooh.
Uh, uh, hey, what's going on, Level 1 Gaming? How you doing? Shout out Fame, man. Yo. Macho, how you doing,
He's
man?
off track now.
I'm doing too many things at once, man. I'm multitasking over here. Macho, take it
I
away,
got
man.
you, I got you.
I need help, man. Go ahead.
I got you. What's up, everybody? It's the King of Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy fanatic. Ready on this Thursday, foggy Thursday morning. It's been a really nice morning, I'll have to admit. Woke up, won a gift card giveaway to a bagel spot near my house. So immediately just drove over, got a nice large iced coffee and cheddar jalapeno bacon, egg, and cheese. And I quite enjoyed that. But we're not here to talk about my indulgence into bacon, egg, and cheeses, but maybe for another time. But yeah, man. So are you good now? You all set?
I'm good.
Okay.
I just
I was
came.
trying to stall for you.
I just came to the realization, man. I can't play The Last of Us Part 2 and do a podcast at the same time. I just can't, man. That's too much brain power that I don't have, man. I only have a few brain cells this time of the day, and I can't I can't spend them all doing that. Um, all right, so let's you know what we always start the podcast out by talking about what games we've been playing, man. So Walt, why don't you tell the people what's been taking your interest as of late? What's going on, man?
What's popping? Well, in light of recent, rumors or possible eventualities with the Sony PlayStation Store for PS3 and PSP, PS Vita shutting down, I grabbed my Vita and I played a little bit of Persona 1, trying to, make the best out of it. I don't know how it's going to function if it ever happens, whatever they're planning on doing. But I've been doing that. I've been playing some Darkest Dungeon on Vita as well. And on the PS4, because PS5 still don't find it. The PS4, I've been playing some still more Persona 5 Strikers.
Wait, hold up.
What?
What was that? You don't have the PS5?
I don't, cause no, man, it's hard, man. It's hard. It's tough. I'm not. It's hard, man. I tried to find it like
funny.
the last couple of days. I was directly on the PlayStation site trying to, have my faith up, but no luck. Not on Amazon. I mean, I could buy one for $1,000. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Check Target though. That I heard I've been seeing them getting more of the PS5 lately.
I mean, hey, hopefully they do online shipping.
Definitely.
Other than that, man, just more Persona 5 Strikers, grinding away, progressing the story. I think I'm almost done with the story, but I'm aiming for platinum for that game. So
Yes, sir.
I'm just having a blast with that. Yeah, man. Darkest Dungeon, hard as hell. It's a turn-based dungeon crawler, I guess, in a way. It is ruthless. Like, literally, the game is built around the fact that you will die a lot, and it is incredible. It is harder. I'd say it's harder than Dark Souls, but that's another topic.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Like, I think it's just so punishing in terms of debuffs. There's literally a system called like hopelessness. Like, you can become hopeless. Like, that's an actual debuff, and look, you can like kill yourself if you don't treat your party members well. Like, it is crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. But other than that, not much. I haven't played anything new. I'm waiting for the future Life is Strange. That remaster might be picking it up. I'm excited. Last week I was mentioning how excited I was for the Life is Strange announcement, and I'm a huge fan of that universe and that franchise, so I'm excited for True Colors, the protagonist, Asian American protagonist, which is fucking awesome during these times.
Definitely.
The power, it's you can meme the power. It's the power of empathy. That's like, oh, emotions. No, but it's like it can be deep, it can be complex. But yeah, man, that's what I've been doing. What have you been doing, Jay? What you been playing?
Man, let me tell you guys about a little game called Concrete Genie. So I feel like I haven't been the hottest on this game, like, since I've been talking about it on the podcast, but I finished it, and I actually really liked like the last two chapters of this game made my opinion about like the entire game do like a complete like 180. Because like, to be honest, like the painting mechanic I wasn't too fond of. Like, it's not like it's a nice feature, but it's not as in depth as like I came into it like expecting. But then like the last two or so chapters of the game, like essentially the whole gameplay like flips on its head. It's not anything too drastic, but like they actually implement like combat into the game, and I'm like, whoa, this wasn't in like the entire like first 5 hours of this game, and now like you're actually fighting like enemies, and you're like, there's this ability that sees you basically like skating around the entire levels, which is like really really cool while you're like killing enemies and stuff like that. And it just becomes like really fast paced, and like you're dodging these attacks, and like I don't know, it just got like really like exciting in these last two chapters, and then like on top of that, like the story is actually like really like heartwarming. Like it's not gonna win any Oscars or anything like that, but it's like it's basically this simple story of like this kid who's getting bullied by these kids in his town, but then at the end of it, essentially all the kids like come together and they have to like work together, and those, you know, the kids who were once bullying the main character start to accept him, you know, for as one of their own. And I don't know, it was just really like endearing and like low key kind of cute. And I don't know, man, I really loved the story by the end of it. It didn't like I didn't tear up or anything like that, but like it was some like legitimately some good stuff, man. So yeah, I finished Concrete Genie. It was definitely a good time, man. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much all that I really focused on this past week. So yeah, a bit of a light week, but I mean, to be honest, it's been after Hitman 3, man, it's been light. But yeah, that's pretty much it
Damn.
for me. You guys played Concrete Genie, or what's going on?
It's on my list for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's like I think it took me
I have
maybe
it
like
downloaded already, so I'm ready.
nice. I mean, it took me I think like 8 hours, maybe. I think probably less than that. But yeah, man, it's definitely a good time. I'm gonna be interested to see like what you guys think about like specifically the painting mechanics, because like I said, I wasn't too fond of it. Um, Especially because like I think the first what really did it for me was that like the first four chapters, like more than half of the game, it's just kind of rinse and repeat. You're basically like painting these areas of specific parts of the city just to light up these light bulbs, and you're doing that for like chapter after chapter after chapter, and then once you hit like chapter 5, it's like okay, now we're doing something like actually pretty different now. And I think that's when my opinion really started to change, was when that you know, combat started to get implemented. And then that's also when the story started like you're no longer, you know, kind of like fighting these bullies anymore. You're starting to get to learn about each and every one of them and their backstories, and now you're starting to like befriend them. And like once you hit that point in the story, it's just like when things started to get really interesting. So yeah, man, I really enjoyed the game. Um, Gonna be interested to see if you guys do get around to it. Gonna be interested to see what you guys think about it. But yeah, like I said, that's pretty
Awesome.
much it
Yeah.
for me. What about you, Macho? What you got?
Yeah, so to go off of what you're saying with Concrete Genie, that's actually pretty dope. I'm actually gonna, I think after looking at it, I want to say that to play with my fiance because there's a couple of games that I have in my catalog that I think of specifically that will be really cool to play with her.
Yeah,
So I think that'll be one of them because I think she'll like that. But as far as what I'm playing, it's kind of just the same as it was last week, where it was Final Fantasy 14 grinding here and there, and then actually got further in Bravely Default 2. I hit Chapter 5 last night out of how many chapters there are. I'm just enjoying the ride on that one. It's the villain is definitely forgettable, but like on top of like all that, it's just like the characters and the gameplay and the story where it's going, and I'm just enjoying the entire like just basking in all of like its JRPG goodness and fun, and kind of just DNA nostalgia that I used to get from past games. So it's doing really well with that one. But one game that I actually played on Friday, I think I really played the entire weekend because I just wanted to finish it, and that is Assassin's Creed 3.
ooh, I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman right now. I wanna hear this right now. Go ahead, tell me.
And I didn't plan on finishing it this weekend, but dude, I was so bored that I was just like, I need to finish this game now, or else I'm
Damn.
never going to finish it. And usually Assassin's Creed games, like from the Ezio trilogy and all that, they usually run like around like what 10 to 12 hours, right?
Yeah.
So halfway through Assassin's Creed 3, and you make that switch to the other character. I won't spoil it in case people are playing. And it's like 6 hours in. I'm still like really bored with what I'm
Wait, wait,
doing.
wait, wait, wait. You can definitely spoil it, man. It's been what, 9 years since that game came out?
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
And yeah, when
go
you went
ahead,
from
man.
Yeah, go
Hatham
ham.
to his Native American son Connor, who I can't pronounce like his Native American name, so I'm not even gonna try it.
I think it's like
Um,
Rotan Hagedun, something like that.
Something like that, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Um, and which I apologize for. I should probably learn to actually pronounce that because that's more respectable than calling him Connor by his quote unquote American name. So I
Yeah.
apologize to my peeps out there, but um, yeah, it's just like the I just got really bored, like super bored. And then once you actually started donning the hood, like because to me Connor has like the best like Assassin's Creed getup out of the entire like main character line, in
Yeah,
my
it's
opinion.
pretty cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like a mix of like the colonial look with the assassin hood, but it's also kind of like a cape at the same time.
And
So like it's like
it's
cool.
got that Native American, sort of like some bits and pieces of it is distinctly Native American as well.
Yeah, so I'm digging. I'm looking at him in a cutscene. I'm like, man, you a badass dude, man. You a badass dude. But then I keep playing. I'm just like, where is his story going? And then the further I got to it, so like sequences 6 through 12 is where it started to get a little more interesting. Where I actually wanted to see where it was going. But I just, for me, it's like where did like the heart of the main characters go like in the storytelling because it's really sloppy, and really one of the only redeeming factors of the story for me was actually the villain who was never mind, I can't remember his name.
Oh, Charles Lee.
But yeah, Charles Lee. I don't know why I was thinking of Hilton for something. But yeah, Charles Lee, like his connection with Connor and kind of like their rivalry or their like animosity towards each other is what really drives the game. On top of like Hatham being Connor's father, stuff like that. But it's so weird, just like when Hatham's like calling Connor his son, and like they're like buddy buddy after like one interaction. Like it's so weird, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm glad I finished it. The present time story is like awful. I just didn't care. I don't understand why Desmond is looking different in every Assassin's Creed game. Like he's looking more skinny and like more sick every time. I don't know if that's because of the Animus, but or just because of Ubisoft. I don't know. I
No,
don't know.
that was definitely like, well, I can't explain why he looks different from Brotherhood to Revelation. That one's just weird. That one doesn't make sense to me. But the jump from Revelations to 3, I'm going to blame it on the engine change because they did change engines from Revelations to 3. So like literally all of those characters just like weird, just look weird
Yep.
compared to how they looked
Yep.
in the Ezio trilogy. But yeah, you're absolutely right that he does have like like a different model. Like it feels like every game.
Yeah, it's like it's weird, like just and after seeing the end credits, like again, like the redeeming factors for me that I'll remember from playing was Charles Lee, and the parkour. That's like
Yeah,
Ubisoft is like you could tell they're starting to nail like the free flow of parkour.
yeah,
So it feels really good to play the game despite like a couple like weird like controls as far as like combat stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me whether are you gonna play it again, no. Like I will replay Brotherhood, I would replay Revelations, absolutely. But three, nah, that's a hard on install.
yeah.
What's the next one in the list?
Well, the next one it was going to be Liberation, but for some reason I didn't get the copy to go along with 3 remastered when I bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey's like Ultimate Edition on sale. So I wasn't able to get Liberation, which focused on Aveline.
Hmm.
So the next one is going to be Assassin's Creed 4, which is one of my favorites, and I did like boot that up on PC real quick, and it runs a little weird as far as the PC port because it jumps between like late 50s and early 60s as far
Yeah,
as frame rate,
that's what I've heard.
but the but the graphics, oh my god, like it's like I can't wait to play the rest of it. It looks really good and such a step up from three.
Yeah,
Nice.
three's interesting because I'll never forget that was sort of the peak of like not only my Assassin's Creed like fandom, but like everybody's, because like it felt like this was like the conclusion of something, right? Like this was the first time we were getting a new assassin in like 3 years. I felt like this was the first like
Mm-hmm.
numbered Assassin's Creed in how many years? Um, and like since AC2 and Brotherhood and Revelations, the modern day was like clearly building up to something. So like yeah,
Hmm.
this was like the natural like conclusion to it all, and because of that, it felt like bigger than just like any other release in the series. So like yeah, my hype for that game specifically was like it was insane. And then you couple that with like the engine change, the sort of differences and changes in gameplay. Like I remember, dude, the things that we take for granted now in AC were like big changes in back then. So like being able to assassinate on the move was like, to me back then was like mind blowing because we were never able
Mm-hmm.
to do that. Being able to pick up weapons on the fly was something we were never able to do. Taking cover behind buildings, crouching
Yeah,
in
like little
tall
structures.
grass.
Yeah,
Yeah, running
yeah,
up slants. I remember was this big thing that they were hyping up, and I was like, oh my god, we could run up slants.
yeah.
Sliding down slants as well. Vaulting over just the parkour in general, like the little flips that he would do, the tree climbing, obviously, those little moments that he would like hop through open windows or open doors, and it would have like this little
Yeah.
mini cut scene of him just like running through and jumping over this table and running out the other side of the building, like all these
Yeah,
little
they even had that in
things.
combat too.
Yeah, all these
Hmm.
little things. Oh, the multi kind of kill animations.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, all these things, all these little changes, like it was so cool back then that we kind of take for granted now in the series. Um, but yeah, man, like all that stuff aside, like that game story wise, like I feel like it was just too ambitious. Like it was just trying to do way too much. It's like
Exactly. Yeah.
specifically with Hatham, like it almost feels like two games put into one. Like if they would have, because you spend like what the first three sequences with Hatham, right?
Uh, yes. Yeah. 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 You do,
Yeah,
which is
three.
like generally like 3 to 4 hours.
Which yeah, and to put that in perspective, that's three sequences out of the 12 in the game. So like that's a good chunk, and like I wouldn't have like an issue with it because like I'm gonna be honest, like the twist in with Hatham, with him actually you finding out that he's a Templar is like actually pretty cool, and like in a way, like having spent so much time with him to get to that build up makes sense. But at the same time, I feel like if we would have just cut out like one of those sequences, then it would have been better. Just like the wait to actually get to Connor wouldn't have been so long because you don't actually get to be like assassin Connor until like sequence 5, I think, which
Yeah.
is
It's,
which
it's
is
I think it's 5 or 6. One of those
yeah, which
two.
is pretty nuts, right? Like that's the moment, like he doesn't get his robes until 5 or 6, which is nuts. Because then after you're done playing Hatham, you have to go through an entire sequence as Kid Connor,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
which is like kind of, I mean, which I don't
It's
mind because
boring.
it
It's
is
boring.
it is boring, but like I
Very,
don't I don't mind
very
because
slow.
like that at that point that was kind of like to be expected with AC, because AC2 you got to be young Ezio, so like.
But it was
I,
fun.
yeah, it wasn't fun, but I was definitely expecting that. Um,
Yeah, but that build up with Hatham was really cool. Like I think if you're playing for the first time, you're gonna be like, "Wow, that's an awesome twist."
yeah,
But for someone like me that's coming back to it knowing that twist, the impact more of it was not with that because obviously it wasn't a surprise, but more of like with Charles Lee and how loyal he was to Hatham and like what kind of consequences that come with that later on in the game when you're facing against Charles Lee and stuff like that. That's where like I felt more of like kind of like the relationship between Connor and Charles Lee was stronger than Hatham in my opinion, and Hatham and Connor.
Man,
So
I
yeah,
I
it's interesting going back to it and like seeing like those little threads and like how they hold up.
Man, I hated Charles Lee. I I did not care about him at all. See, because like I actually liked Hatham and his relationship with Connor. I really liked it. It just felt so different. Just like there in terms of like Assassin's Creed at that time, like seeing these two ideologies of the Templars and the Assassins, like order and freedom, kind of like literally coming to a head between those two characters, I thought was really really cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because
Yeah.
like
No,
that.
but
Go
that
ahead.
kind of goes off what you're saying before, where like it was a little too ambitious for what it was, which makes like so much sense when you say it like that, because it is trying to tackle these like ideas of freedom and liberty, and what does that mean for Connor, and like it was tackling so much that what the focus really need to be was Hatham and Connor,
Yeah,
which you get for like a couple sequences, and then like it's done. I'm just like, let's play around with this. Let's keep going.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So
I'll agree. And we've probably spent too much time on this already, but yeah,
it's
yeah,
eventually we need an Assassin's Creed podcast eventually.
definitely. But yeah, man, like it's a weird game. I'm so conflicted about that game because like I like a lot of it, but at the same time, it's like it also feels like the most like the almost like the black sheep of the entire series. Um, so yeah, I don't know, man.
It is.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
I
in my opinion, it is. I haven't played the others yet, but so far it's my least favorite one I've played.
Real interesting.
I like, or
Um,
at least replaying. It's at
yeah,
least it's
yeah,
the one. It's my least favorite replay.
definitely.
So
Um,
yeah,
I also
that's what I've been playing.
I just want to apologize to people who are watching me play Horizon, man. Like this is going bad. This
It's
is
been
going
struggling.
yeah, this is going bad. Um, wait, what are you doing? Oh, what? Okay. Anyway, let's let's move into the podcast proper. Um, so hey guys, watch this segue right here, man. You guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
You ready?
No.
Hey, don't be scared. Don't be scared, Walt. Don't be scared. It's okay. So it's our sixth anniversary. Walt, can you tell me what also? I mean, it's our sixth episode, but Walt, can you tell me what just had a sixth anniversary? Recently?
the abs the absolute mat lad of a game, the best that FromSoft has produced, for me at least, in my opinion. The magnificent game of Bloodborne is
Mm,
turning 6 today or this week.
definitely. So
It
I
could
want.
finally ride the swings.
So I thought it'd be cool if we just like talk let's just gush about this game for a little bit. I just died. Um, I what?
Appropriate with
How
talking with
what a
Bloodborne.
proper way to just go into
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
just Bloodborne. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I thought it would be kind of cool if we just talked about this game a little bit. Like some do we have any memories with Bloodborne? What's some of your
Yep.
favorite bosses? What's an area that stuck out to you? Let's get this conversation going, man.
Let's start out with Jay first because I
Yeah,
already
Jay.
went on about AC3. So
Yeah.
Oh
you start.
man. Oh man. Okay. Um, where do I start, man? So this was my first Soulsborne game, so like that
Same.
immediately makes like this game has a special place in my heart because of that. Um,
Mm.
and so like full sort of transparency. Like I'm not like I don't get scared easily, but like I tend to stay away from like anything that's like horror related. Um, or at least like I'll take my time through them like very slowly, you know. So
Mm.
so that's probably another reason why I was like I never went to Bloodborne immediately, but that world is just like so it's so disgusting, but at the same time so gorgeous that like it just makes you want to explore every nook and cranny, even though you're gonna be terrified and like screaming and running away from most of it. I just it's just irresistible to like not want to explore those places, especially like Central Yarnum. Like that place is just like that Gothic architecture, man. Is just absolutely gorgeous. So I mean that aside, I think his like once again, like I never played a Soulsborne game before, and the thing that I got absolutely obsessed with was sort of that gameplay loop of trying to manage the risk and reward of you having this large number of souls, but then you're like, like I should I just keep going a little bit further? Like, what if there's a lantern coming up? Like, I can hold out a little bit longer, but at the same time, like I have so many souls. What if I run into a new enemy and he kills me and then I lose all my souls, right? So it's that beautiful balance of knowing when to like keep going and knowing when to go back to cash in those souls, that for the first time experiencing that was just this loop that I was just absolutely obsessed with. And then of course you have that sort of thread, that overarching thread, and within it you have, like I said already, the beautiful world, and then just like the uniquely designed enemies who scare the living shit out of me, and the kind of almost simple at the surface but difficult to master combat. And it just like all together makes this absolutely beautiful package that I absolutely adore. I could just go on and on about this game, man. Specifically, again, just want to touch on the world design as well. With specifically, just like I think I might have talked about this before, but just this idea of everything is so connected. Like, yeah, there's various locations and whatnot, but it all feels like pieces to one larger place, if that makes sense. Um,
Hmm.
like just the fact of all these shortcuts and these places are all interconnected. Like once you open a shortcut and it brings you all the way back to the beginning of a level, and you have that aha moment, and you are like, oh my god, yes, I finally needed or I needed this shortcut, or a shortcut comes like right at the time, or you unlock an elevator, and it's just I just love that interconnectedness of Yarnum and this game. And
Yeah,
I don't think
you
I've
could you
ever.
could
Go ahead.
you could compare it to, you're saying how it's interconnected, but it's such, every section is so different, but they make it so seamlessly when you transition from one to the other. It very much, you can compare it to how a dream is or how a nightmare is, which that's the whole premise of the game, how you're entering this realm of just pure atrocities. And in reality, what's a dream? What's a nightmare? It's just jumbled up. You don't really recall it. You don't really make sense of it. So I think they really nail the world design in that aspect of how is it everything that's interconnected even here, but at the same time it makes sense in the broader context, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was definitely like a standout to me, because like I think aside from like Resident Evil, I haven't really had much sort of like experience
Or
with that kind of level design. And
mhm.
then the bosses, man, the bosses are so like I don't even know how to describe, like not just like aesthetically and design wise, they're all you know varied and different from one another, but like it's so fun. Like like this game makes dying fun in a way. Like actually learning their attack patterns is really fun, and then like just
To a point.
to a point, of course.
To a point,
Obviously,
because like
dying, you're
you'll get it like figured out, and then you get to that point of being super confident that you actually understand the boss, and then they just BS the shit out of you.
yeah. Yeah, and like obviously, dying like the 20th time to a boss isn't fun, but
So
again, just learning their attack patterns and each run getting, inching your way closer and closer to like mastering these bosses and fully understanding them like the back of your hand is fun, man. I love that. Um,
mm,
some bosses that I will always, kind of remember, um, or at least my favorite one was Martyr Ligorius on top of Forsaken Castle Canehurst.
interesting. So
Because
an optional boss.
because he was the one that like I want. I'm not too confident about this, but I think he's the one I died the most to. Um,
Mm,
and so when I actually did, finally beat him, he felt like the most rewarding. So like the other bosses like Bloodstarved Beast, I beat him like on my second try, I want to say.
mm,
Some other one like Cleric Beast as well, like second try. Father G was fun because he was like a hunter boss basically. That
mhm.
one like really felt like a dance, like two hunters like dancing. Like when you're both dodging or like dashing to the side at the same time, like it's beautiful to watch. But with Martyr Ligorius, he was the one I feel like I struggled the most. And when I finally beat him, it was just like slam the controller down, like fuck yes, dude. Like one of those moments.
Yeah,
Um,
that high.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, tell me guys, like what does this game mean to you? You guys have any standout bosses? Like what when you hear the word Bloodborne, like what comes to mind?
Honestly, that the name itself, it's fond memories. Now they're fond memories, of course. Back at when I was actually trying to get through it, it was a nightmare at times. But reasons when it first came out, it came out during a time where my quote unquote gamer brain wasn't as like intrigued about that much variety of games. So I saw the trailer and I was like, I don't care. But then I saw it on sale and I heard all these beautiful things about the game. I bought it and I do not regret it by any means. It really was my entry point into the Souls born genre, universe, whatever it has become. Um, One of the things that I really love about, I mean, I love everything about it, but the combat, just how you mentioned how there's high risk, high reward in terms of deciding whether to push on or not with so many blood echoes. I do think that also applies during combat. Yes, there is a learning curve, but that learning curve also includes you being risky enough to get in there and try to like get parries, try to use your gun more, try to get visual attacks in. You know, contrary to what Dark Souls is with the shield and the parrying, when you fail a parry in Dark Souls, at least for me, the risk wasn't as high as in Bloodborne because you have a chance of blocking the attack. But in Bloodborne, you're risking shooting the boss at the right time to get a visceral attack in, or you're risking getting one shotted. So I love that high octane moments within the bosses.
Yeah,
In terms
definitely.
of I beat the I last time I played, I was a New Game Plus 4 because I just absolutely loved playing the game over and over.
Damn.
And until I made the mistake of going into the DLC with New Game Plus 4.
Yeah, I
So
was
that
about to
made
say. That's
that made
crazy.
everything that made everything in that DLC 10 times harder. Um, in regards to even the characters, the NPCs you meet, Aileen, the
Oh,
paladin-esque
don't get me started with
uh,
Eileen, man.
Eileen, dude, I absolutely everything stood out. Every NPC stood out for me.
Yeah.
She was tough because I tried both side quest approaches with her. Um, in regards to bosses, okay, I always go main game and I go DLC because I treat them separately in terms of difficulty. Because the DLC is purposefully the hardest you're gonna get in Bloodborne. Um, with the main game, the most memorable boss for me, it probably has to be what was his name? The emissary, uh, the Cthulhu-looking monster, the great one that was in next to the garden with a lot of aliens. Do you remember that one?
Oh, God, I forget her first name, but her name is like Daughter of the Cosmos, something like that.
Daughter of the Cosmos. Yes,
She
that
okay.
one.
It's funny because like I said Martyr Ligorius was like the one that like killed me the most, but I think she was probably like the second hardest one for me.
Dude, once I figured out that for her, essentially, I had to use the Kirk hammer because the hammer did insane damage to her face, like literally, like above her head. Um, Before that, I just died and died and died. Mind you, that's not the boss I've died the most. We'll get to that. But I died and died. I think that's one of the most more memorable ones because of how the music, the environment, her attacks make it so that this is the daughter of the cosmos. This feels like an otherworldly being. This
Yeah,
feels like truly a great one that's from space.
yeah.
Um, Hardest boss or most Martin Lugarius, I beat in one try. The first,
What?
like as soon as yeah,
That's
dude,
so
like
funny, dude. That's another really cool aspect about this game is like seeing like for instance, my hardest boss could be someone else's, a boss that they had the easiest time with, right? And vice versa. I think that's
yeah,
really cool.
dude. I think it was one of those moments where I just innately I got in the zone, in that Bloodborne zone that you're parrying, you're dodging perfectly, everything's going according to plan. You make the right decisions all the time. That's not always the case. The most annoying boss, because I'm going by category, is Rom the vacuous spider.
Really?
Screw that boss. Dude, screw those spiders. I had such a hard time in the beginning trying to get around it, trying to figure out how do I approach it. Do I kill all the spiders? Do I just go all the way to the left or to the right and make the spiders group up? It got so annoying. Maybe I just wasn't thinking clearly, but that's one of the more annoying approaches because after every phase, they all spawn back and in greater numbers. All
Yeah.
the spiders, and they don't hit like normal enemies. No, those spiders, they hit you once, you're almost dead already. No, 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 no. Screw that shit. Um, what comes after him? He come Mikolash. Mikolash, that's just a cheap boss. I think it's kind of ridiculous how once you get on the final ground where he starts doing the star explosion, you have to like literally close the gap or you're dead. Close
Yeah,
the
yeah.
gap or you're like it's a one shot.
Yeah, it's a
Like
one
that was kind
shot.
of he's more interesting for story purposes because that's the first time you hear about Kos, the great Cosm. Uh, I always have that like how he whenever you're going through the hallways, he's like a hunter is a hunter even in a dream, and he just teases you throughout the whole freaking boss fight. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
One of the more epic fights has to be Gurman. Such a poetic like ending
Yeah,
to
that's a beautiful fight.
beautiful fight, beautiful setting. Then you have Moon Presence if you unlock it. It's not as bad. Now, we're talking DLC, guys. This is the boss that took me months to get to, like to beat. This is the boss that made me rage quit the most out of any game I've ever played. This is the boss that once I beat it, I literally cried of how satisfying and how fucking excited and mad I was. And that is Lawrence the First Vicar. That dude, that
Interesting.
is the most obnoxious, most BS cheap boss I've ever fought. Maybe if I go back, it's not as bad. But back in that moment, man, the absolute audacity that they did with this boss. When he raises his hand and he can 180 all the way back, like in an instant. When his lava just overflows the whole room, and you have this little circle where you have to like measures perfectly to get around. No, 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 no. This boss made it hell. Made it literal hell. Now that's cheap boss. Orphan of Kos was harder, but that's just part of the boss. It felt natural. It felt like this boss actually. It made sense. This is the final boss. This is what they've been hinting at. This is the birth of a great one. You
Yeah.
have to stop this, or else he's gonna go haywire. And we know Lady Maria. That's like a S tier character.
Yeah.
But in terms of man, the Chalice dungeons were a great addition. You know the level by level like waves, the different bosses you can encounter depending on the Chalice dungeon that you put in. Fighting the queen. It was like the queen at the end. If you got like the true dungeon, the big dungeon all the way to the
It's
end.
like the Puthemarian Queen or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And she's not hard. It's just like it's just this powerful like lore behind it. You know how you get all the way to the end.
Yeah,
But overall, man, Bloodborne memories, beautiful world, gorgeous enemy design. As disgusting as they are, but it's gorgeous in the sense that it fits so well with the world. It's so disgustingly gorgeous, the world, if that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah,
It's horrifyingly like beautiful. It's incredible.
definitely.
But yeah, enough about bosses. Enough about my tension back in the day. What about you, Macho? What's your experience with this game?
So I don't really have as much of an affinity for Bloodborne as you guys do, but let me just say I take great pride when in my third person action games. For someone that's played on the hardest mode for the Kingdom Hearts games, has faced the hardest bosses in those games, which are legit.
Ooh,
Um, I take great pride in like my action games. When I tell you that I have an animosity for Bloodborne for kicking my shit in, I have an animosity for Bloodborne. No, I totally respect like how it like it's impacting the industry and like how many like people it opened its doors to, as far as like the Souls genre, and I love it. I love like hearing and people rave about Bloodborne and seeing people stream it because it's such a fun experience seeing them overcome that obstacle. So for me back then being the OCD like perfectionist, I would always want to clear an area before I ever hit a lamp to level up or even go to the next boss fight. And I just continue that cycle
oh boy.
for like the first 2 3 hours every time, and then I would just get frustrated and quit, and then not come back to the game. And this happened like 2 or 3 times. So at this point, I'm just torturing myself, or just like, all right, I just gotta get through it, get over the pride, and do it. And then once I did that, and I started playing the game more, holy crap, was I addicted to it. The
Yes,
I
sir.
think one of the most satisfying things playing it was one the checkpoint system that just felt perfect every time, and the weapons. Um, Obviously the bosses are really cool too, but man, I'm a big fan of weapons transforming on the fly and then adjusting it to your battle strategy or whatever, however the boss is going down. To me, that is the most fun out of anything. And I really love the sword, where I think it's just one sword, and then you can split it into two and do a whole bunch of like cool like dual attacks.
Yeah, the
I was a big
Rakuyo.
fan of that. What happened?
Yeah, the Rakuyo, whatever it's called.
Yeah, yeah, it was that. I always switch between that one and the bigger sword where you just have like a big mallet on your back and you kind of just like sink it into that and then pull it out. You got a hammer now. Like that was always the coolest thing in the world. And then you just start doing heavy attacks against the boss. Like, oh man, it's so satisfying that the combat in that game. I really hope they do like a 60 frames or resolution updates to that game because it really deserves it. Like out of all the games I played, like it really deserves it in my opinion. And yeah, I mean that's kind of like the best memories I have from Bloodborne, just like the weapon transformations and just exploring the environment because I'm a person that loves exploring areas in the game. So like Xenoblade Chronicles was awesome because of that imaginative locales, and all the lore and history and everything. And then Bloodborne for the exact same reason, where like this whole world like went to crap. What's going on? But it's so fantastical at the same time, and dangerous and violent. Like it's such a great fantasy world that you will want to read comics about and stuff like that. Um, but
Did
yeah,
you
I mean,
get to play the DLC?
no, I didn't get to fight the DLC. I didn't get to the DLC because at that point I was just like, whatever. But again, that's why I really hope it does get an update because I would love
For
to
sure.
jump into that with like higher frames and it being a little bit more responsive. But yeah, I mean, to me, like the most memorable boss out of it was I'm really bad with names, but the
Go ahead.
Shadow of Yarnum.
Yeah, you
Oh
got it.
yeah, yeah.
Shadows of Yharnam. The trio.
Yes, yeah. Oh my God, how nail biting, unnerving that the music was in the entire fight. Just them
Oh
just
yeah.
trying to gang up on you. You're just like,
They
get
start
away from me.
transforming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much fun. But yeah, that's like the one that came to mind immediately, just because like the black hoods like just running up at you. It's terrifying
Mhm.
for me. So like that is like a personal like terrifying moment for me. And then Murgle's Wet Nurse.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
The design on that monster, that boss,
Ooh, the
incredible.
baby crying. Ooh.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm cringing just thinking about it.
Ooh, yeah. Dude, if you get the chance to play the DLC, upgrade or not, there's some really cool weapons there. Yeah, I know you're gonna love. Like they get creative as hell. There's like a whole wheel that you can carry, like a whole wheel, a whole wooden wheel that you can use. Like it's crazy.
That's
It's
sick.
crazy.
That's sick.
Yeah, man. But yeah,
Definitely.
man, we got there, Jay. We all got that Bloodborne PTSD. We
Yeah, I mean, I will say that Bloodborne is really good. My favorite out of the Souls games I played, which is just only three in Bloodborne at this
mm,
point, but Sekiro.
yes,
Sek
sir.
See, you were talking before, Jay, how like it was like a really cool like dance between two veteran fighters in Bloodborne.
Yeah, yeah.
Sekiro's a
It
whole
felt like that
ball.
for yeah, it felt like that for Sekiro the entire time. Well, besides like a couple of like monster bosses, but like I just love like that kind of like that back and forth pairing like gameplay mechanic and all that. Like I'm coming from Kingdom Hearts, so like fast paced action gameplay is like what I'm all about. So like to kind of have that, but also have the ability to block at any time or parry these attacks and kind of just have like that really cool like singing between the two swords and everything. It's super cool. It's super cool. The only one to really match it from there was like Ghost of Tsushima for me.
Oh, for
So
sure, for sure,
Definitely, definitely.
dude.
yeah.
Um, all right, man. I think we beat that Bloodborne horse to death. Um, I want also. I just realized that.
Not enough because it's gonna come back from the dead.
Yeah, definitely. I
Like the
just
monkey in Sekiro.
I just realized that like the game was like frozen on that one shot for like probably like 5 minutes.
Oh God, are you sure? Are you for real? Like
Cause
that's what
man,
happened?
cause something a trade happened to in basketball with my team, and I'm low key emotional right now, man. So I was just scrolling through my
Bro.
phone, like looking at everyone's reactions. I'm like, oh my god, man, I'm a
I
little
see.
messed up right now. Um,
I mean, bro,
I see
if
your
you
Twitter
watch
reaction.
yeah,
if you
yeah,
watch if you watch Twitter, the Twitter, and you watch Jay's and the Magic's relationship, it's like a whole telenovela in there. Like you
yeah.
just there's a whole lot of content.
I mean, we just traded away our best player for a bag of chips, but you know that's whatever. That's whatever. That's whatever. Um,
Hey man, because it depends on that bag of chips. Is it Doritos? Is it baked Lay's? Like what you got
Does
going
it have
on?
more
hey,
air than chips?
hey, it's a half full bag of those
Lay's?
store those no those store brand potato chips.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh God. Great
Um.
value.
Yeah.
God
All
damn.
right, man. Let's. Oh my God. Let's move on, man. Um.
Man, suffering.
Um, you know what? Let's get into this PS Store news, man. Macho, I know you're rubbing your hands together right now, ready to jump into this.
Yeah,
So
man.
basically, let's be clear. First of all, this hasn't been officially announced yet, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I feel like Sony's silence is kind of it's kind of it speaks volumes.
Reassuring.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, there's this rumor saying, Macho, can you actually confirm like who it was that broke this story? Was it VGC or someone
I
else?
bel I believe Bloomberg. I think Bloomberg was for Switch. Yeah, hold on one second. I actually, yeah, to be honest, there's gonna be so many stories at this point on like talking about it, so I'm not sure who was actually the one that broke it.
I think it
Mm.
was VGC, but we'll get confirmation on that. Anyway, basically the rumor was saying that Sony is planning to essentially shut down the
The server,
storefront
right?
on for to digitally download PS3, Vita, and PSP games, and naturally this caused a Twitter uproar. Man, people were not happy about this. So Macho, I wanna hear where you're coming from on this, cause I feel like I feel like I'm gonna be on the opposite spectrum as to you, but I want to
Ooh,
hear
exciting.
where you're coming at with this.
Absolutely. So, I mean, for someone that still has their PS3, PSP, and PS Vita, I do like to dabble into those and just kind of like browse around or play some games that just can't on PS4 and PS5. So it's one of those things where, yes, it is like a security blanket that, yeah, I have it there. And I would like for it to stay there. But the thing is, I understand why they're shutting it down, or at least we can speculate why they're shutting it down, and it makes sense from like a business perspective. Where like if people are not using it, then why not? And it's not really a preservation reason either. It's more of a just an accessibility problem, which is what Sony has had a problem with really since PS4 when they had that PS2 and PS4 on PS4 initiative, and they didn't really do anything with that, or at least like, really go into like broad spectrums with it that people were expecting. And then we do have PS Now, but like Jay, you mentioned before too, and a lot of people even say this, where like the selection of games is so weird. Where they don't even have like complete trilogies for like Resistance or anything like that, or whatever the case may be. So it's like if they're going to shut down the PS3, PSP, and PS Vita stores, then make those games accessible at in the very least to your audience.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to hear from Jim Ryan saying that, man, no one wants to play these old games. But like, no, no, people like to go back into the catalog. Like, catalog, you have a rich history in video games, an absolute rich history. So despite if like Final Fantasy VII is like on mobile or anything like that, people want to play on PlayStation too. That's why you have like the PS4 like remastered bit. But in my opinion, I will always like to go back to that PS1 port just because it still has a nostalgia classic vibe and you can see where the series began its roots and stuff like that. And that goes for any game. Jack and Daxter, Xenogears, what was it? Chrono Trigger's another one
yeah,
too.
etc. etc.
But yeah, like there's like a whole list of like great games that are on those storefronts that you can't get anywhere else unless you buy them physical or you pirate it.
Yeah,
So, in my opinion, if you're going to shut down a store, fine, but make those games accessible to PS Now or any other way on PS5 because we're gonna have this system for the next 10 years.
yeah,
And I don't want those games to disappear and for people to not know about it. And my only link to it is my Vita. I like to play on my big screen TV and all that. So
yeah.
that's really where I'm coming at it from. So when I heard the news, I was confused, but I was like, okay, fine, but you better have a way for me to access these other games that I would like to play from time to time.
Yeah, I think
So
I think that's like probably my biggest thing right there is the whole accessibility of it all. Like I think this whole thing, granted, if it is indeed true, which I think it probably um, is that like this shines a glaring light on one of Sony's, most pressing issues, their backwards compatibility, right? Like there is, if they do indeed go through with taking away your ability to download and access these titles, there's essentially no other way for us to access these titles without, obviously like on the console itself, we won't be able to. So I hope that them doing this will open the door to, this is so far fetched, but them implementing a deeper compatibility that's not just limited to PS4 and the goddamn 10 PS2 titles that they have on the storefront. I'm I'm not going to count the PS Now either, because that is also like, I don't I feel like the selection is just not great. Um, so I don't know, man. I agree. My biggest problem is that like there needs to be if you're taking away like one thing, you need to kind of replace it with something better. So if you are taking away our ability to access these games, you need to implement a solution where we can access all these things somewhere that's more convenient on being the PS5. And there was that old patent that came out recently of them wanting to do something with emulation and trophies popping up through emulation. But again, that was an old patent, so like I don't know, man. I'm not confident that they will somehow in the future implement PS2, PS1, and PS3 games through backwards compatibility. I'll cross my fingers for that, but I'm not too confident in their ability to do that. But
Yeah, I'm just so confused by like what's Jim Ryan's mindset that you know that people don't want to go back to like the legacy of PlayStation, or if
first,
he maybe it's taken out of context, but still it's just like what's going on? Like the PlayStation legacy doesn't start at PS4.
first, like really quickly, man. I don't know if I have a problem with it because like he's a corporate guy, so like he surely doesn't need me coming to his defense, but like I I feel like I have this issue with like people immediately like blaming Jim Ryan for everything. Like I don't know. Like I know he did make that dumb comment, but like I don't know if I don't like I just don't want to like immediately come out and say like, oh, this is like Jim Ryan doing this, right? Because like it feels like he's just kind of like the boogeyman. Like he's just like everyone's like scapegoat when anything like inherently like kind of problematic PlayStation wise happens. Like he's the first one that everyone points to. Like I don't know, man. It you get what I'm trying to say? Like I feel
No,
like
no,
he's just like
it's just no, I get it. It's like because obviously there's other people making decisions other than him, but
yeah.
overall he's the one that's signing the paychecks. He's the one that is giving the okays to all this stuff, and I don't. I realize he's setting like the vibe that PlayStation is going on, right? And for like the past couple of years, it's always been we're looking to the future. It's going to be PS5 and amazing games. And the things that PlayStation has done really well was give this consistent rollout of quality games, which has been to their benefit because obviously they've been a top dog for a while now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't get too cocky and don't remember where you're coming from. And I feel like from what we've seen the past couple of years, where they're not really supporting backwards compatibility and kind of look at it with a side eye. And now the reports of this, where the PS3, PSP, and PS Vita stores are supposedly coming down, and we have no avenue to access those amazing games that are on those systems, speaks volumes to me. Again, it's all reported, and you don't know if like they actually have something planned because I think the report was that they were going to announce this at the end of the month. So who knows? They might pull off, like a card trick where they show you one card and take away the other. So I'm hoping that's the case, and then they have a plan set in motion for people to actually access those things. But for me, it's like, yeah, man, you're making the decision. You're setting the mode for like how PlayStation's looking now, and frankly, I really don't like it. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's definitely said some things in the past and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like this whole conversation of like complacency with PlayStation, like I disagree because like him kind of being at the forefront of putting more PlayStation games on PC, I think is a sign of them not being complacent. Because like if they were just kind of acting business as usual, let's just keep doing what we're doing, which to a degree they are doing, but if that was 100% the case, then I feel like they wouldn't be trying to expand the PlayStation ecosystem and putting their games on other platforms. Like I think that is on his part and Sony's part a recognition that, they do need to do more, that they can't just continue treading down the same path, that they see what Microsoft is doing and that they need to also be thinking about the future as well. So I don't know, things like that kind of like makes the case to me that they aren't being complacent. But yeah, like I definitely have my complaints with the guy as well. But I don't know, like I just I don't think he's like the villain that like everyone makes him out to be, like specifically with the whole cross generation games as well. Like yeah, he did make that comment, but at the same time, like yeah, we do have games like Horizon and Sackboy and Spider-Man are cross-gen games, but there's also we have a ton of PS5 only games with Demon Souls and Gran Turismo and Ratchet and Returnal. So like he probably could have said picked that sentence a little bit better. I actually want to get the full, like that full statement, because there's a part of me that feels like that was taken out of context a little bit. Because what did he say exactly? He said that we believe in generations, right? So like, if you look at what they're doing, that necessarily a lie? Because they are supporting both. They do have their games that are exclusively for the PS5, and they do have their games that are straddling that cross generation. So like, I don't, if like I would definitely have a problem. I would be like, okay, now you're lying through your goddamn teeth. If every single title was PS4, PS5, but the fact that there's both. I don't know. I feel a little bit like indifferent to that statement just because that there is
No, no,
both.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I mean, like, if again, I did look back at it too when he was talking about like we believe generation stuff like that, and again, again these corporate guys know what they're doing.
Yeah,
They know what to say. So if you actually look into it and you think about it in a certain way, as you would with Phil Spencer when he's talking about Game Pass and Xbox stuff like that, you can see like, okay, he didn't technically lie, but
yeah.
still kind of skeevy. But because there's many ways to like look at it, right? So that's the same thing with Phil Spencer. But
Yeah.
but yeah, no. Again, I don't see him as like I don't like want to see him as like the demon, because he's not. He's doing his thing,
Yeah.
and PlayStation's gonna be very successful. But like at this point, as a person that's been with PlayStation since PS1, I would like to see these games like still breathe life in the future and have that security blanket over them,
Yeah.
because they matter.
Yeah, definitely. And that's 100% on them for not having a robust sort of backwards compatibility system. That's 100% on them, and they need to. I don't think they ever will, but they need to address that in some way or form. Like I said earlier, if they're taking away our ability to access these games in one way, then they need to provide us another way to access these games on our new console. And I don't think that they will do that, which sucks. Because then that means, or obviously, PS Now is sort of the logical answer, but they need to straighten that mess out first. So I don't know. Walt, how are you feeling about this whole thing? Are you really bummed out that you won't be able to in the future possibly access these titles, or what's going on?
I mean, as someone that's playing the old Persona titles on PS Vita, kind of bummed out in that regard. I haven't purchased all of them, but
Yeah,
like that's something I love to dabble in, like JRPGs, like from old consoles on PS Vita. So I guess, I mean, if this is true and there's like no backup plan, like how they mentioned that they have their plan for how they were mentioning against Game Pass, they have like their counter to that. We mentioned last week how that could possibly be PSVR. Maybe they're investing more on that and they're focusing on that. Uh, but I pretty much I want to believe that by the end of the month or whenever they're announcing this officially, that they'll reveal, oh, we're shutting this down. But in reality, it's because this new service is going to be available across all platforms, like PS3, PS Vita, PSP. I mean, maybe in different, qualities, different libraries of games. But I mentioned it 2 episodes ago how PS Now should very much be improved in the sense that make some games downloadable, like maybe they're going that route. Maybe they're investing on PS Now, making it better, or they're making a completely new service and shutting down PS Now and putting all those titles there, amongst other ones. Do I feel bummed out? More skeptical than bummed, because this is more of a, it started as a rumor, but now it's like it's almost for certain, and I think it's like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But until there's no official release, no official press, like there's no like official quote that we can go to and be like, oh, just how like Phil Spencer, how he mentioned that all these like with Game Pass, all these games are gonna ship on wherever Game Pass is available. Let's see what the specifics are when Jim Ryan or whoever addresses it. We can debate about it all day long, but until there's like no official word, we won't like for sure know. If they're just shutting it down and that's that, and like they're just looking at the future, will that blow up on their face? It pretty much will. It might. I don't know. That's a lot of games that we're like just boom, they don't exist. What? So I'm supposed to then just? I mean, I'm all for physical, but not gotta be realistic here, guys. Not every game now is like $100 just of how rare they are. Are you gonna make people just buy old consoles and like expensive ass games just to play them? No, like this is even Nintendo understands that with their virtual console, the SNES and NES library, and their subscription service. Like, figure something out. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's like my main thing. Again, like that's where it is back to the accessibility issue, where like there are some amazing games on PSP. Like people want to talk about the 3DS, and that was like, of course, 3DS is like one of like the best handheld consoles that has amazing games on it. PSP is in that running. Absolutely, 100%. With the Monster Hunter games, the Persona games, the Cydia, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep is on there too. There's a like really great JRPGs you can't get anywhere else besides PC that are on PSP.
Yeah.
So and that's another thing. A lot of the PS1, PS2. I don't know how many exactly, but I've seen some classics on Steam and on PC and on emulators. But not everyone has the budget for like a high-end PC or like just a PC in general. Not everyone wants a PC. So like, if they're going towards PC, they're showing these titles like Horizon. They're showing they did Death Stranding's on PC. Like, you got all these. They're transitioning. They're doing some changes, but I feel like they're slapping away a huge chunk of what made PlayStation, I feel like. Because for the PS3, for as long as it lasted, I don't know, or as short as it was, they did have PS1 and PS2 classics. Like, you had that alternative. But for PS4, not only did we not have backwards compatibility, like, the lack of old games, we just had remakes. Like, we're just having remasters of certain games, and some of them people don't even care about. Plus, we're having, like, old games, like The Last Remnant,
like medieval,
from Square. Like, yeah, like what is that? I don't give a. I mean, that may be someone's.
Did you buy Medieval, Jay? Did you buy Medieval?
Hell no, man. Get that out of here, man. I don't need that in my life. I have enough stress in my life. I don't need that. I don't need that to add to my endless amount of stress already.
Dude, like I get it. There obviously the budget. I don't think there's infinite money for you to do what Blue Point is doing with Demon Souls and Shadow of the Colossus. You can't do that with every game, and not every game should have it, because some games, they're perfect as they are. Like Final Fantasy VI, that's perfect as it is. Pixelate. I mean, if they remake it,
the PS1 version, version of that game is excellent. Yeah,
it's incredible. It runs the music, the story still, like, everything's beautiful. But
same thing with Chrono Trigger.
Dude, for sure. Like Xenogears, like you mentioned, like all these games, certain games, they should stay as they are. Certain you remake, but reality is we don't have. If there were like 100 Blue Points, then remake all the games. But reality is, PS1, PS2 is still highly regarded, and right now, I'm just gonna like, we can debate it all we want, but I won't know for sure until like someone speaks out, because that's one thing that PlayStation kind of like lacks, is like that communication on the fly. That's like,
Yeah.
if with the whole PSN store shutting down, they could just go, refute it, or make it so that, oh yeah, we're doing it, but we have this, like, say something.
Yeah,
Don't let us
definitely.
in a limbo. Don't leave us in a limbo. Like, we're stressed. Like, that adds further stress, because we're stressed with our lives. We want your games to de-stressify, but then you're stressing that part too. Like, come on, man. Am I gonna wake up, go to my PS Vita, and like Persona 1, Persona 2 I'm not gonna be able to play. What's gonna happen? Tell me,
Yeah.
Jim Ryan or anyone, like even Jeff Kaplan from Overwatch. Someone tell me something.
He's not gonna know shit, dude.
Jeff is like, bitch, I'm just working on Overwatch too.
um,
Oh yeah, man,
but yeah, that's
that's where we're at.
yeah, that's definitely something that they gotta like, because
Address.
last year was, yeah, they definitely gotta address it, but last year I remember especially being tough. I don't know if like I don't know if the pandemic had anything to do with their with their communication skills. I
Yeah.
would doubt it. But yeah, last year was tough specifically because like it felt like we didn't hear anything from them until like until the PS5 reveal, right? Um
hmm
so
It sucks. I
yeah,
really don't like it.
it
Nothing.
sucked.
Absolutely nothing.
I mean,
Like, literally nothing.
obviously the reveal was hype. Once they finally started
Oh
talking, it was
yeah.
like, okay, yeah, now it's hype. But just such a long period of silence, and it feels like I know they had their state of play this year, but I don't know, these long stretches of silence kind of does suck. Um, but speaking of PlayStation, man, did you guys we got some breaking news, man? You guys saw it?
Oh.
No, no, I did not. What's up?
Uh, House. Well, sorry, Walt. This doesn't pertain to people without a
He's like,
PS5.
stay where you are,
Oh.
peasants.
Don't
He's like,
worry.
PS4 peasants.
Um, but
Like when I try to go into a VIP club and they're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Are you on the
yeah,
list?"
yeah. The
Nope.
the ropes closed. Right now.
God.
You're not allowed past here, man.
Wow.
Um,
I.
but Housemarque's Returnal has just gone gold, man. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm excited for that. That's good. I can be excited for that.
No, no, you're not allowed to, man. You're not allowed to.
No.
Um, but yeah,
Stand
man,
behind this gate.
Stand
exactly.
by.
Um,
Golly.
but yeah, that's good to hear, man. Like I was anticipating this because like games usually go gold about a little over a month before release, so I was like kind of like twiddling my thumbs, man. I was like, okay, I'm waiting for this announcement. It should be any time now, so I'm glad we finally got um that announcement. Theoretically, this means we shouldn't get any delays, but I felt like that sort of preconceived notion went out of the window last year with The Last of Us when they went gold, and there was still a delay that came afterwards, but that they specifically said that was because of the pandemic. So hopefully
Pandemic, yeah.
that doesn't happen this time around with Returnal, but nonetheless,
Don't
man,
jinx
I'm
it.
I'm I'm excited, man.
I mean, following game development trends when like when they go gold is usually like before what, the month before the game comes
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So
More or
it seems to
less.
be on track.
definitely. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Unless
man,
another
that's
outbreak happens.
No, cool. I was actually looking up that game last night, yeah, because I was literally I was just bored and I was like, well, let me see what the games are coming out, see if how much money I need to like save up for these games.
yeah,
And but yeah, Returnal's looking good, man. That one I'm still like on the fence of whether I want to pick up day one or not because it's really just because of my personal like lack of funness that I have with third person shooters now.
yeah,
But I mean, I'll see how reviews come out, but it's looking like overall the style of it, it's I'm addicted to it. I think it's really cool.
yeah, definitely, man. Um,
Gorgeous.
but yeah, man, I'm excited for that. Um, all right, man. So let's get into this Evo discussion. Let me pull it up on my phone
Evo.
really quick. Um,
Wally.
1-1. Walt, really quick, stall. Go ahead.
Oh well, man. Hey, man. This we might talk about this later, but possible Nintendo Switch revision. Guys. Possible 4K, possible new DLSS. You know what I mean? My dude, OLED display. Come on. We need that. Better battery. Switch lagged the first few months, but we might get a new and improved version of it. You know what I mean, Marco?
Macho. I'm basically Walt's basically like the monkey of the group. I was like, dance, monkey, dance, basically.
Oh my god.
All right.
I feel that, man. I see you. I see you.
Man.
Clearly,
This was announced, I think, maybe the day after we went live with the podcast.
literally.
So basically, the Bear. This is off of the official SIE blog, but basically, Sony Interactive Entertainment and basically this new sort of like built from the ground up esports venture called RTS have jointly acquired the Evolution Championship Series. This was, I know for me personally, I was just like, what? Like it just came like as a complete surprise. But at the same time, once you kind of take a step back and that initial shock kind of like wears off, you kind of look back and you see just how much, especially on PlayStation's YouTube channel, just how much they've been like supporting fighting games, specifically MK11. They've been hosting like a lot of like competitions and tournaments on their channel. And obviously the Street Fighter deal, like they definitely have, and then tournaments in general, they tend to like fighting games tend to have like a more like PlayStation centric focus. Like I don't know if you guys have realized or have seen that, but like in tournaments, PlayStation's like usually the console that they rock with when playing fighting games. So like I don't know, taking all that into account, like PlayStation, when you think of fighting games, I normally think about PlayStation. But I'm not too sure what this does for them like immediately. Like there is EVO is having an online tournament later this year. We do know that. In terms of like exclusivity stuff, I know that like a lot of people were worried about that, specifically pertaining to Smash. Nintendo is still
but they said they're still going for it.
Well, Nintendo's still gonna be weird about it because they released a statement and they said we are assessing the situation, right?
Nintendo being weird? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. What you mean?
So and they haven't been at EVO.
Bowser's fault.
Yeah, man, that damn Bowser, man.
Come on, man.
That damn turtle dragon, whatever he is. So yeah, they're still gonna be Nintendo, but again, in terms of exclusivity, because like people were worried about, oh, now they're gonna we're gonna be forced to play on PlayStation, or they're gonna specifically sort of push for specific titles or whatnot. And Mark Julio came out and tweeted that EVO is essentially still open to all platforms, that the teams at PlayStation and RTS are enabling us to continue working with our community to support fighting games. So we don't have to worry about that. Again, this brings up the question about PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Could this possibly open the door for like, is PlayStation cooking up another one? My only concern,
Please.
my only concern with that is, and I don't know if it's like a likely if they are making a sequel, but my only concern is that if they are making another one, that they aren't doing this specifically, to push that game into the tournament scene, right? Like to kind of like ham-fist it in there or whatever, shoehorn, I think is a more appropriate word. Like I really hope that's not what they want to do in the future. Like let's wait for like the game to actually be popular before you start like shoehorning, every tournament has to include PlayStation All Stars, going forward, right?
God.
So I hope that's not, something that they plan to do.
Come on,
But
man. Ellie versus Nathan Drake. Oh my
that's
God.
what I'm saying, man. Like obviously we need a different developer behind this game, but you look at a
Yeah.
possible roster and it really does fill out way more than the characters they goddamn included last time out. So
Dude, yeah.
No,
Sackboy versus Kratos.
I
Oh my
think it's
God.
gonna go in a different avenue. That's fun to speculate, but who knows if it's actually going to happen.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
I'm just coming up with dumb scenarios. So
No, I mean, as far as Sony like basically acquiring EVO and like having their stake in it, you made a lot of great points. So before, like, if you have noticed, like they've been doing like a lot of fighting game tournaments, and yeah, I definitely been noticing that like in I think after the 360 and PS3 eras where PS4 or at least PlayStation really started to dominate in EVO as far as like presence and like what people play on. And it really is kind of like the console for fighters at this point. Obviously, there's Killer Instinct on Xbox and Smash Bros on Nintendo, but like PlayStation's like definitely feels like more of like a home for some of these fighters, like Blaze Blue or Guilty Gear or
yeah,
anything like that. And I mean, it's fun to speculate, kind of like what this actually means, or at least what direction Sony's going in with it, because some people have seen like just speculating on it as far as like, well, who's like the biggest holder at EVO or who draws like the most attention, and it's like the last day for fighters is Street Fighter, right? What does Sony have all PS4 generation as a console exclusive?
yeah.
Street Fighter. So are they thinking of looking into Capcom? Are they maybe looking to NetherRealm to like make a Mortal Kombat game exclusive or anything like that? It's like it's pretty interesting to see like where they can go with that, as far as like what's their hand in it, as far as what's being shown and what's going to be showcased, what's get like the biggest spotlight. And if you come around Evo, we're like, here you can get all these games on PlayStation, but you can also watch the tournament on your PS5, but like stuff like that. So it'll be fun because I like fighters. I like playing fighting games. I'm definitely picking up Guilty Gear Strive when it comes out, and I was like a big Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom guy when it released. So to me, I like this because it just means that whenever Evo comes around, I'm gonna have easy access to watch the tournaments and play
Yeah,
those games right from my console. So I'm excited.
definitely. Um, well, what you think, man?
I mean, hey man, in general, if there's a genre of game that I tried to get into but never succeeded was fighting game, but just the idea of a partnership between Evo and Sony and them being able to reach a larger audience or make it more accessible, make it more worldwide where people can actually like partake in these events. Especially now with the pandemic. I mean, maybe they can look for they have the resources to allow for abroad players to have a better time joining in on these events. I don't know what this might mean, Evo, I just recently, meaning like the last couple of years, I actually like started like acknowledging all these events and all these, because in reality, the only type of competitive event I would somewhat care about, I guess, would be just Smash tournaments and Overwatch esport events. That was the only thing I would kind of get into. But I mean, if this is a good move, which by all means seems like it, great, fantastic. I mean, it doesn't do anything for me, but this is like an audience that I feel like right now, at least with the current climate and not being able to form these events, this gives them the resources to make it more accessible and more approachable for new future players. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what
And
I'm excited about, honestly. Like more people coming in and being introduced to like all these fighting games. Like yes, they're hard. There's like a barrier. Some of them are actually pretty like they're easy. A lot of the ones that are coming out now are like they're easy to play but hard to master, which is
yeah,
cool. So I think it's really
and
cool if you have like a nice entry there for newcomers to come in and just play. And when they're seeing these hype tournaments come up on their feeds,
absolutely.
it'll definitely make you be like, maybe I should give it a try.
Oh, for sure. And maybe I'll be like, oh, man, I want to participate. I don't know. Maybe I go competitive. Last time I played like an actual fighting game was like what, like MK10 or Street Fighter 4. I don't remember. It's been a while. Guilty Gear seems. I like watching it more than I like to play it, and like not even acknowledging. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going. I like this player or this player. No, it looks so adrenaline filled. Like people go ham.
Yeah.
I remember the game room back in college, my first years of college. There was this one guy that he was a competitive player, Guilty Gear or Grand Blue was it, and this dude counted frames. Like you would see him play, and you would see him mumble like 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. And I was like, wait, what does move? Really, really passionate about this. I mean, this screams great. If video games are, it's a broad category. You have niche groups. Within those niche groups, you have competitive groups. Within those competitive groups, you have these niche events. So that'll just make it even more like it'll shine the limelight on it. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy for this. This is good. This is good. In a world where PlayStation is not as transparent with their messages until the last minute, this is great.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for the potential of this, just because EVO is a really great event that goes on annually. And from last year, where it was canceled because of the crazy allegations that are going on, it's nice to see like some form of hope now for the community, because it did feel like they're like on a decline, especially when the fact that this is an in-person event and we were hit hard by the pandemic,
Exactly.
and that kind of like broke a lot of spirits. But with the addition of online and I think it's called GGPO, which is like the network, which is like a specific ones for fighting games that works the best online. And the fact they're going to be like enforcing that and having these new games like Guilty Gear and Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, like all this stuff that's going to be there, it's going to be like a nice rejuvenation for the community. And I don't know about you guys, but the fighting game community is like one of like the hypest ones.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if you're in there for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I think that they just actually did a recent tournament for that, hosted by Maximilian and a couple other veteran fighting game players. That brought back like the hype in the fighting game community. It was so much fun to watch. So the fact that PlayStation has like is backing Evo now, and or Evo, and just doing all these things with it, it's gonna be cool. I'm excited for the future of it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad that people like Maximilian, these veterans, they do keep these communities alive very much, and like
Absolutely.
they keep talking about it. They keep doing their own tournaments. They keep like analyzing. They keep it alive. They keep that passion and that that love for that type of event and game genre alive very much. So, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So this just adds to it. I'm happy for that. Happy for that.
Yeah, definitely. I think Macho hit the nail on the head, meaning that like if anything, I think this definitely brings more well, you would hope, cross your fingers that this will bring more exposure to the event,
These events.
to
Yeah.
itself. With
So we have another
PlayStation.
breaking news.
Oh,
Oh,
what's up?
We have another breaking news. A Ghost of Tsushima movie is in development.
Oh my God.
wait, who's making it?
Deadline broke the story. It's directed by Chad Stahelski, who did
What do you
John
do?
Wick.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. Wait. Okay.
Yep,
Guys,
Sony Pictures and PlayStation Production are developing a film
Jeez.
adaptation of this hugely successful action adventure game, Ghost of Tsushima, with Chad Stahelski attached to direct.
Man. I'm like,
if there's something that the John Wick movies have is like immaculate fighting scenes. Like, oh my god. Let me check this out. Give me a second.
yeah.
Yeah,
mean,
I don't see if they have like a production or pre-production thing in place, but yeah, looks
there's
like it's the head of PlayStation Productions, Assad Kieselbash. Sorry for
Kizelbash, yeah.
mispronouncing. Kieselbash. He added a quote in there. So
Nice. Yeah, dude, this is, man, like, like I kind of like groaned a little bit, just cause like, I don't know how I feel, cause like you see, like, Uncharted, Last of Us, Twisted Metal. There's this rumor that Demon Souls is getting a movie too, which I don't believe, just because of the people who broke the news. They kind of like, whenever they post something, you gotta take them with a grain of salt. So I'm not convinced about that. But yeah, man, Sean Layden talked about this, I think, in 2018, right, when they formed
Oh,
PlayStation.
really?
When they formed PlayStation Productions, or whatever their TV slash movie venture division is called. When they formed that, specifically to do things like this, make adaptations of their video game properties. So like, this is, they've been building up to things like this, man. So it's kind of crazy to see
Hey
it
man,
popping off like this. But I don't know.
maybe
Ghost,
maybe
go ahead.
maybe the reason that they're shutting down all these PSN stores and that they're not saying anything is because they're going to be like, "Hey guys, fuck games, we're doing movies now. Like, we're done with that."
We need the money to fund our Ghost of Tsushima movies, so that's why we're
And it
shutting
goes
down
to,
these game
Yeah.
servers.
Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us series, Uncharted movie. We're doing a God of War. That just announced all these movies.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm always gonna be of the opinion that TV series will work
Yeah,
better than movies. I think the Uncharted one will be fine. Like, I think you can do that one in a condensed movie, but I don't know how you can do Ghost of Tsushima in a 2 hour film. Like,
I mean, you could condense it. A lot of
I
Tsushima
yeah, I
is a
feel
lot
like
of side stories and a lot of filler, which the main story itself, I think you can condense it. We have a lot of old school samurai movies that pretty much tackle the same kind of story in a way, with, this big overlord that's taking control of your land, and this one badass samurai is rising. And I mean, Kugisawa movies, all this. I don't know. I don't have faith, but I don't have skepticism.
yeah,
I'm
you're right. You're right. That
excited.
that was kind of misplaced on my part, because like, I was, my head immediately went to The Witcher,
Oh,
thinking about
yeah,
the got 100-hour RPG that is, and trying to
yeah,
condense
no,
that into a movie, and obviously that was better suited for a TV
for
series.
sure, for sure. I feel that.
But yeah, yeah.
I
So
pretty much, I feel like maybe if they were gonna tackle something like possibly God of War, that would very much function as like a trilogy, maybe, like a trilogy of movies. I mean, I'm not saying I want a God of War movie,
wait,
please,
you
by
know
all
that's
means.
gonna be made. You know that's gonna be made.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Let's
probably.
stop there, guys.
Yeah.
Let's stop the movie talk.
That's my thing, man. Like,
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I'm so conflicted about these things, because like, I at the same time, like, why I have mixed feelings about the Witcher TV series is that, like, I don't personally, I don't want a one-to-one adaptation of these
Books
properties, right? Like, or books, games, whatever it may
or
be.
anything, yeah.
Like, I want them to deviate a little bit. I want to see, something different that I didn't get in the original source material. So like, if Ghost can do that as well, then if there's something that they couldn't, tackle, or that they didn't get to dive deeper into from the games, that they will address in this movie, then sure, that's it will be a worthwhile watch on my part. But if it is mainly the same experience as the game, then that's where I have my issue. But I guess we'll just have to
Okay,
wait and see.
yeah. Guys, this is a stretch, but try to bear with me. I'm gonna try to pinpoint what I want to reference because I want to make a comparison of what you mentioned, that they don't have to be a one to one. Okay, I'm not talking about the movie. Do you remember Dragon Ball Evolution?
Oh
Okay,
man.
we don't
Oh
want to
man,
remember that, but
PTSD.
remember it for a moment. Do you remember the casting for Bulma?
No. I
Okay,
put that out of my
anyways,
mind, man.
the casting for Bulma. You know the Bulma, she has blue hair, right?
Yeah.
Well, the actress that did the role of Bulma, instead of entire blue hair, it was just like a strip of blue hair, just like a modern take of blue hair, just to indicate, oh, that's Bulma. I want to focus on that. They should do that approach where it's like their own take on the property while respecting it, and not so much we're just creating the game in movie form. You know, that's what I wanted to go to. I didn't want to compare it to Dragon Ball. No. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, and you would hope, obviously, which I'm confident that PlayStation will nail this, but you would you would hope that in terms of representation that they'll get that right. Like we don't need a Dragon Ball Evolution situation on our hands.
Oh man, it'll be awesome if they actually got the voice, or not even the voice actor, like the actual actor, the mocap actors.
Yeah.
For that.
That
would be incredible.
Dude.
But
that would be incredible because the mocap actors are actually, obviously they're fans of the game, but I think the actual actor for Jin even streamed the game.
Yeah, he did. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
man.
So that'll be super cool if they got them on board, if that's a thing. And
I love it when actors do that voice. I follow Shannon Woodward, the voice or the mocap. Was she the voice or mocap? No, I think she was the voice. The voice for Dina in Last of Us.
Well, she did both.
She did both. Okay, so her
just the face is a different person.
Just the face. Okay, so she did the rest. The avatar was someone else, but she did the rest. Okay, yeah, she did the whole performance. Dude, she's always she's replaying Last of Us 2 right now, and she's always talking about just PlayStation, just games she loves. I love when behind the game they just bring out, I don't know, it fleshes out the experience for me in terms of the character itself. And you get to meet these awesome people, like Lucio, the voice, Johnny Cruz. He's streaming Overwatch every few days. I love it when you get to interact with these people.
Yeah, it's like the voice actress for Aerith in Final Fantasy VII Remake. She's a streamer.
Yeah.
So seeing her reaction to her first scene, or give little tidbits and where they're doing certain stuff. It's really cool. Yeah, totally into that.
For sure.
All right, man. I think that's pretty much gonna do it for the podcast, man. We talked about everything that we needed to that happened in this week, man. Let's hope. So I would assume also that now that Returnal has gone gold, that probably within the coming weeks we're gonna start to see some previews start rolling out. So I'm definitely excited to see some more, to see people's impressions and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that's gonna do it for the podcast. Really quickly, want to remind those of you who are watching, please toss a like our way, man. That will help us immensely. Also, subscribe to the channel if you can. We would greatly appreciate that. But yeah, we're gonna head out. But first, tell what are you guys up to this week? You got anything planned for articles, games you guys playing to get your teeth sunk into? What's going on this week?
Well, as a matter of fact, I got
wait. that tone of voice, I just had this image pop up in my head that Walt was just he was straightening out the bow tie. He's like, well, you know what I mean?
This man got a hot date.
Yeah.
You're gonna take him out for some mofongo, man. Take him to the real nice.
Oh man,
a little bit of tres leches.
Oh man.
So show him the acaburia, huh?
Oh man.
The whole feast. Oh, we feasting. This man hungry. You hungry, Macho?
Yeah, man. All
Macho,
the food references.
I heard Macho drool. I heard Macho just drool this time out and all that.
Oh man.
No, man. I really want to get my backlog going. I want to get through some games. Read a shit ton of the stuff that I want to do, because for the longest time there's certain authors that I want to talk about. For as much as they're talking about in the West, I want to talk about it more. Junji Ito, want to talk about Shizumi Oshimi. I want to talk about all these people. I'll see what I can do if the next 3 tests I have don't get in the way, because I'm in class right now. I have the class open, and
hey, don't tell the people that.
They're announced.
Don't
Yes,
say that,
sir.
man. You're gonna get in trouble, man. Well, what are your teachers listening right now?
No, it's not even the actual class. It's just a live of what was recorded.
Oh, gotcha.
It's yeah, because like it's Zoom, so they're recorded, and
Oh,
I'm
gotcha,
just like
gotcha.
I remember I got tests and whatnot. So let's see what we're doing. But other than that, if y'all want to catch me doing stuff, liking stuff, sharing memes, sharing video game goodness, some waifu here and there, follow
Oh
me at
man.
Twitter at Walt Lando. You know, Mistress Energy all around. Probably,
Oh
I don't know.
man.
Who knows? You'd have to follow to find out. But hey, guys, it's all fun and games. Be nice to each other. Stay hydrated. Don't assume shit. If it's a rumor, if it's a leak, just wait until an official comment is made, please. And in regards to anything, company, corporate, people, individuals, influencers, tone it down, guys. Tone it down. We gotta keep Twitter a bit in check because it's wild out there. It's wild. But yeah, catch me at Twitter at Walt Lando. Capital W, capital L. You'll find me. I'm rocking that winter getup in New York. Before pandemic, am I right, guys? Oh my God, life is so hard.
Macho, what's going on, man?
So interesting development actually. The other day I actually got a code for a upcoming game, upcoming
Ooh.
indie game, and I'm not gonna say what it is just because I'm gonna respect embargo and all that stuff. But I'm definitely gonna be working on that this weekend, so expect that review to come. What's today? The 25th. Yeah, so expected to come sometime next week. Head to lordsofgaming.net for that. It's actually a game I've been really interested in for a couple years now that has caught my eye. It's a really nice, like, cool, immersive storytelling indie game. So expect that next week. I'm excited to dive into that this weekend. And yeah, that's just about it. Get more into Bravely Default 2. I want to see if I can finish it at least, the first week of April. So yeah.
Oh yeah, man. It's
Dope.
Ragnarok, right? God of War Ragnarok. That's the one, right? You got the code for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you
That's the
imagine?
indie
Yeah.
game I'm reviewing, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to tell you about it.
Nice, man. Corey
Good,
hooked you
Yeah,
up. Nice.
good God, could
I
you
can't wait to
imagine?
tell you about Fat Thor.
Jesus.
Yeah. Thick
Um,
Thor. Oh no, what we call him here, the tortas, because like tortas, the tortas.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, man. You know what it is. I love that everyone here understands Spanish, right? Jay, you understand Spanish too, right?
oh yeah, man, totally.
He's in Florida, of course he does.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Yeah, I'm over
Yeah.
here laughing nervously. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. You got Google Translate on the side. Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
We'll,
why
we'll
that's
catch
why
you
I
up on the
got
Spanglish soon, man. We'll catch you up on it.
Yeah, for
oh
sure.
nah, I'm good. I'm good. Uh, that's gonna do it for us, guys, for the sixth episode of the DualShock and Sense podcast. As for me, really quickly, I got absolutely nothing going on this week. So yeah, I'm gonna end the podcast. Yeah, that's it,
What games you
guys.
playing though? What are you playing this weekend?
Oh man, nothing. So, I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
He's a little
He's,
struck by the news of his
I
sports
was I
team.
was just about to say he's gonna be barfing all weekend
Yeah.
because he's gonna roast. You're gonna just see Jay roast. So y'all, if y'all want to see some back and forth between the Orlando Magic and Jay, go follow him at the
Yeah.
Book of JT because he's
Not,
gonna
not
roast the
even
hell out of
crying. He said barfing.
Yeah,
Barfing.
I'm honestly sick to my stomach, man. I need to go lay down for a bit. Um, yeah, that's gonna do it for us, guys. Thank you guys for watching and coming through as always, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.